Hi everyone, good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. This session is brought to you by PrepTiv in collaboration with the Global Skill Development Council, which is the certification body for AI, and the certificate is approved by all the corporates. And today we'll focus on how you, as a working professional, can leverage generative AI and agentic AI to stay ahead in your career. The duration for this program is 1 hour, and in this, I'll be giving you a quick overview about the program for initial 10 minutes, and then we have a trainer for this session who will be explaining the complete structure, how we'll be going forward in the training. Yes. And as I told, this program is a globally certified program, and this is designed for senior professionals from both IT and non-IT background. It covers the most demanded AI topic, which is generative AI and agentic AI from scratch, I can say, because as I mentioned, it is for both IT and non-IT people. And we do provide hands-on learning. We have 100% success rate on the certification. And yes, we do provide job assistance as well. Coming to the next slide. Here you can see, AI is no longer an option. Let's start with a simple but important perspective. AI is no longer just a tool you experiment with, right? It's rapidly becoming a core business capabilities across companies. The professionals who are adopting it early are not just learning something new, they are gaining clear competitive advantage in their career. And today, companies are actively looking for people who can make decisions backed by AI. That's the trend, what is happening right now, or you can say the change which is happening in the industry, all the industries. And at PrepTiv, we help professionals to lead this change, to lead this shift. So here, I just wanted to talk about the leadership gap, what is happening. So most professionals today are already aware of AI. We all know what AI is and what it is doing. We also have explored tools, even used them a bit, right? But the gap is in real application, using AI to drive actual business outcomes. That's the real gap. We just know the topics, we know what is the advantage, how it is getting implemented, but we don't know the real business outcomes, how to take a AI backed decision for better business. And at the same time, companies are already moving fast. They are using AI daily, automating work and making faster decisions. So the situation is simple, high awareness, but low strategic usage. That is what is happening right now. And the gap is the opportunity. Yes. So those who bridge the gap early will lead the change. That is what happening in the industry. There are many jobs, layoffs are happening, people who don't understand AI. But in the same hand, there are many other new opportunities are getting created. All the projects are coming in which where the clients, the stakeholders are asking to drive it through AI for better outcome, for better decision making. So in the one side of this spin, you can see most professionals don't have a clear roadmap. We have many different sources. We have YouTube, we have open sources where we can learn a lot of things, but there's no structure and no real applications. That is why even if we start learning by our own, we end up learning nothing. There is no results, right? But at the same time, you don't need to start from scratch. What is the opportunity over here? You don't need to learn everything from scratch and everything in depth. Okay, you just need to combine AI with your existing experience. Whatever task, whatever role you are doing right now, you just need to combine AI with that. And that's where you become faster, more efficient, and more valuable. That's the key. AI is not replacing you, but yeah, it is amplifying your career. Now, let me introduce you to our trainer for the day, Utkarsh Sharma. He brings 10 plus years of experience and expertise in this particular space. He has worked extensively on real world AI applications and use cases. He has conducted multiple training at different corporates like EY, Tata, IBM, Microsoft, and many others. What's great is the focus is not just on concept, but on real implementation that you actually use in your work. So I would highly recommend stay engaged, make the most of the session as it's a very small group of people. Try to interact as much as possible whenever you have doubt. Once again, very good evening, sir.
Good evening, Rajiv. Good evening, everyone.
You can take it forward, sir.
Okay, thanks, Rajiv.
Thank
Okay, I hope all of you can see my screen. Fine. So, in this webinar, we are going to talk about a lot of things. We are going to understand what is machine learning, what is deep learning, what is generative AI, and then what is agentic AI. We're going to understand all of these and their workflows. And I will also try to do something practical, although we have limited time, but I will try my best to do so. But before starting, first thing, as Rajiv has already said, all of you need to interact, and I will prefer that you interact using the mic rather than the chat. It will help me a lot, and it will help you also in understanding the session. Now, before we start, I would like to know a little bit about all of you, and after that, I will also ask you a few questions to understand where do I need to start from. So, let's say if you already know a little bit about ML, DL, and you're already about the basic tools, then we can talk about more advanced things and utilize our in a better manner. And let's say if you are from a non-tech background, completely new, then obviously we will start from scratch and still save some time in the end to do a few practical things. So it's totally up to you. If you want to use the chat, you can, or you if you want to introduce yourself by speaking, I think I will prefer that. So just share uh, your background, what you have studied, your profession, where you are working or where you have worked, and also when it comes to, let's say, AI and also coding, if you are a complete beginner or you have already done a little bit of it. Just a few things. All of you, please do this. You can use the mic or you can use the chat as well. Let's do it quickly. Let me
Yeah.
repeat
Good
your
evening.
educational background. Good evening, Shisha. Just
Myself
to once
Sirisha.
again, go ahead.
Yes. Can I take the turn?
Yes, yes, please, please, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. Myself Sirisha. I have experience into marketing, and then after marriage there is a gap because of the children and all that. Then I joined a small IT company. I worked as a project coordinator for 3 years. After that, I joined Wells Fargo as a contractor because in a small IT company the salary was very less. As a contractor, I joined at Wells Fargo. Then the contract ended. Then I did not get any opportunity further in IT companies. Then I joined. My daughter was in grade 10 during that time, so I joined a very famous international school, which is Oak Ridge International, as a teaching assistant, not as a teacher. But now, what is the, how can I come back by learning AI courses or something related to that into MNCs or IT sector?
Okay. You have any coding or experience related to, let's say, data
No,
analytics or AI? No,
no.
no.
I have done PGDBA from Symbiosis University, and I have done MA in journalism and mass communications.
Okay.
So
Thanks,
wherever
Sirisha.
I find opportunities, these are all during the gap times between my pregnancy time. I pursued the courses not to waste the time and maintain to cover up that gaps. I have pursued several courses, but somehow I'm still lacking behind compared to everyone, because this teaching, not teaching, this educational sector, tech are not fetching me enough salaries for something is slightly uh, miserable for
Got
me.
it, got it. So we will
Yeah.
sure
Mm,
discuss about this in detail. For
mm.
now, we just need to know that uh, what's your educational background, and let's say what's your profession. That's it, so that we can so that I can
Yeah,
select the examples that I need to discuss and how much in depth we need to do. Thanks, Sirisha.
yeah,
Okay, next we have
thanks for the opportunity.
Amol. Your mic is on, Amol, but we can't hear you. Are you speaking? Can others hear Amol?
Are you able to hear me, guys?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay. All right. I think there was some problem with my mic. Anyways, good evening, Utkarsh, and good evening, all. My name is Amol Bhuge. I have around 13 years of experience. I'm a BSc IT graduate, and I've been working from last 8 to 9 years in the role of as a release manager. And the reason why I'm actually getting into this is because, of course, this is one of the trend which uh, which is in going on. But then again, we need to capture, understand, and know, because the project management and the other future approach is definitely going to change. And so release management is closely associated with project management and the other things that are related to this senior management when it comes to reporting and all that. Hence, I need to get onto this and improve my knowledge and get along with it. Yep. That's in short for
Okay,
me.
thanks, Amol. Next, Anuja.
Yeah, hi Utkarsh. So I'm from the IT background again, and I have 15 years of experience right now working in an IT organization. Uh, I am into testing domain. So basically, if I talk about my experience on AI, I'm not working like from the very scratch on AI, basically using certain tools for improving the areas like test planning, test reviews, document reviews, and small activities like which help me daily and on the daily basis, like automating certain scripts and integrating the automation with AI. But I'm not exactly very much familiar. I'm just using the prompts, and then uh, doing certain these tasks which I have just right now described. So looking forward to again uh, getting along with get familiar with this trend which is going now around, and that is what my basically I'm looking for.
Okay, thanks, Anuja. Koti.
I don't know how much you can hear me. I don't have my suppression here, so let me know if you are facing some issues from me.
Your
Basically,
audio is not clear, Koti.
yeah, I'm having some issues here.
Okay, no worries. No problem.
Yeah.
Maybe you can just tell me in the chat, just in like 2, 3 statements. Okay,
Uh,
Prabha.
if you can hear me, I can continue here only. It'll be easy for me.
Still, it is like very feeble.
Yeah. Just a second.
I'm hardly able to understand.
Okay,
Okay,
just a second.
let's proceed. Prabha.
Hey, hi. I just joined, so I'm just trying to catch up. Maybe no questions
Mm.
right
No,
now.
no, not question. So basically, before starting the session, I'm just trying to understand where everybody is coming from, simply their educational
Okay,
background
cool,
and their
cool.
professional background, so I can
Okay.
direct the session
Oh,
towards
okay,
that, so
okay,
that is
okay.
useful for
Cool.
you. Yes.
So, I work as an engineering manager for one of the firm, right? So already we are using, uh, I mean, I'm in AI only, Gen AI project only, where we are using as a product which helps in software development lifecycle. And with all the models and all, we have created such a product which can even do data things, right? Whatever have been told, whatever have been shown here. So something I work in that project itself. However, I have come. I mean, because I have 19 years plus experience. So definitely I have Scrum Master experience as well, Agile Coach experience as well. So I was just looking at something wherein even if you want to change your role, uh, how would I fit in uh, that particular role with all this knowledge?
Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay. Thanks, Prabha.
yeah.
Shantanu. Are you there, Shantanu?
Oh, sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. Hi, hello everyone.
Hi.
So I'm Shantanu. I'm working as manager quality engineering in one of the US-based organization, and I have total of around 22 years of experience in IT. Uh, from AI point of view, we have been doing couple of POCs currently within the quality engineering. But you can consider me as a newbie for now.
Okay, perfect. Now,
Thank you.
let me ask all of you a few quick questions and you can just reply in the chat so that I can keep track. Okay, Koti, product owner, utilize AI for both development and features. Okay, perfect, Koti. Thank you. Now, I will ask all of you a few questions to understand like how aware you are with AI and what kind of tools you have been using, and then based on that, we will proceed. Now, how many of you have been using tools such as ChatGPT and Claude for your day-to-day work? Not like creating programs or let's say designing architectures, just basic things. How many of you have been using these tools? Just yes or no in the chat. Okay, almost everybody as expected. Now, how many of you are using their paid versions? For example, either the Pro or Max. Okay, most of you. Now, how many of you have ever executed an LLM locally on your system? That means not using a tool like ChatGPT or Claude, but you kind of installed or downloaded an LLM on your own system and then you use that without paying anything, without any internet access. No one. Okay. How many of you have used a code assistant or let's say an AI assisted coding environment like Codex from OpenAI or Claude Code or anything similar like continue.dev, anything like that? Okay, most of you have not. How many of you are aware of Ollama or MLX? Yeah, no, I'm not asking about Llama. Llama is a model. I think all of you have heard about it. Uh, Ollama. Okay, heard of it, but no one has used it yet. Okay, so I think that is something very interesting and I can show you. Now, how many of you have heard about the term LLM, large language model? Almost all of you. Perfect. How many of you have heard about transformers? Okay, great. Now, so since none of you have ever, now I think most of you are new to AI, and also some of you are from IT background, most of you are not. So what we will do is we will go through these things very quickly. We will not discuss them in detail, like what is machine learning, what is deep learning, what is generative AI, and what is agentic AI. So I will go through these concepts very quickly, and then after that, I will help you set up Ollama on your own system, and I will also help you run LLMs on your own machine. Because see, this is the next trend in the market. Nowadays, people are creating their own workflows without using the cloud. They are creating their own pipelines, their own systems to help them with a lot of tasks by using LLMs locally. And even more so, you have uh, OpenClaw and Manas, which can completely take control of your system and do a lot of things for you. So obviously, we need to be aware about how to use LLMs locally rather than just relying on platforms like OpenAI or Anthropic. So we will do that. Our target will be to move to that very quickly after discussing these basic details. Now, before starting the discussion, let me tell you a little bit about this course. So this course is mainly designed around Gen AI and Agentic AI. It is not a data science course. Now let me explain what we mean by that. And let me also share there is almost a kind of a fraud, I think will be a strong word, but there's a lot of misguidation happening in the market. A lot of courses are there, a lot of things are there. And then they kind of present a data science course as a AI and Gen AI course. So, for example, let's say if you have a 6 months course, they market and present it as AI and agentic AI. But what happens is for 5 months almost they only teach data science like your Python, statistics, and your machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, NLP, all of these things. And then in the last 2-3 weeks they just talk about one or two tools and then call it an agentic AI course. So that's not it. Here what we are going to do is we are going to understand Python. I think Python we need to pay a lot of attention because that's what you will use. And then we are going to talk about machine learning, deep learning, and let's say statistics and computer vision only to an extent which is necessary for us to work with AI or understand AI and agentic AI concepts. We will not dive deeper into all of these things. We will spend most of our time uh, learning about LLMs, creating different applications like RAG, fine tuning, creating agents, and even creating multi agent systems, actual projects. So that's what we will be doing. But we are going to talk about the fundamentals, anyways, before we start all of that. And in today's session as well, first I'm going to go through all of these basic topics and let's keep this interactive and then we will do something practical. Before proceeding, would all of you be interested if I show you here like chat GPT on your own system and then you being able to use it without relying on internet, without relying on any kind of subscription or paid model? Would all of you be interested in that? Like having chat GPT locally? Yes? What I'm saying is like you being able to perform the tasks which you usually do on chat GPT, require internet connection, require a subscription, absolutely free on your own system. So we are going to do
Can we
that.
do it on Mac as well?
Yes,
Okay, cool.
I am also using Mac. So yes, you will be able to do so. So we will do that. But before that, let's talk about the fundamentals. Okay. Let's start with data analytics. And I hope all of you are already aware about it. So let me rather ask everyone, what do you understand by data analytics? What do you think it is? Those who are from IT, Prabha, Shantanu.
Yeah, it's nothing but a collection of data, and then we prepare. Then we chunk out data. People analyze it on basis of what is required. Then that modeling is done. So basically, we segregate data with the requirement. That is nothing but analytics. Depending on it's like however we want to use it, depending on our use case or the requirement, rather, I would say. And
Perfect.
then how we want to present it, right? How we want to present it to whoever requires. That is also
Yes.
important thing. It's not just analyzing, but then how you are presenting it where people understand easily.
Yes. Well said. So communicating your findings is also a very important part of data analysis or data analytics. And I would say that is the main goal because you'd like to study those findings and you should be able to study them in a way that everything clicks. So visualization and communication is the best for that. Okay, so let me just for our new participants, data analytics is simply about like in one statement you can understand it like generating insights from data. Now that involves a lot of steps. Data collection, first you have to collect the relevant data. with respect to the problem you're trying to solve. Then you prepare the data, then you do analysis and modeling of that data, and then you communicate your findings and results. So let's go through a quick example. Suppose your task is to detect fraudulent transactions. Now, if you want to do that, first of all, you need data. You need data related to those transaction logs, user profiles, device data, and a lot of different things. So that is the data collection phase. Once you have collected your data, so often the data comes from different sources, different formats. So it's not suitable for analysis. So next step is data preparation. There you handle a lot of things. You handle data types, missing values, duplicate entries, labeling, a lot of tasks. Then you will apply suitable techniques based on the problem you're trying to solve. Like here, if you're talking about detecting fraudulent transactions, so you will use like a classification based approach, which can detect the fraudulent transactions. And once you have done that, you will communicate and visualize your results to the business stakeholders so that they can take care of issues. That is our data analytics. Very easy. And I also like to say everybody is a data analyst. Or everybody has an intuition to be a data analyst. It's nothing new. If I talk about a lot of other careers, such as, let's say, a sales or a lawyer or a doctor or, let's say, a researcher, you need to build that personality. You need to build that mindset, which takes a lot of time. But you already have a data analyst mindset. Okay, every decision you make, you are doing some kind of data analysis. If you are going to buy a new car, you will kind of go through a lot of reviews. You will shortlist 4 or 5 options as per your budget and do a lot of research about a lot of parameters, and then finally you are going to take a decision. Okay, this is what I want to buy, and most often it ends up being a Baleno, but here we are. So that's what data analytics is. Now let us talk about machine learning. And here we will spend some time understanding everything. I will give you examples as well. But let me again ask all of you, and let's have multiple answers. Let's hear from everyone. What do you understand by machine learning? You can share anything, your views, your opinion, your experience, or let's say some example. I'm not really looking for like a perfect definition, but anything you know about machine learning.
Machine learning is nothing but again like how we talk about LLMs, right? So any models which we are using in AI, machine learning is nothing but we are helping, we are training that models. We are making the systems which will learn, right? So there are different again aspects into it, but simply we can say we are training those particular machines or models, or that's what the easy thing I could think of to.
Correct. I hope this is clearly visible to all of you in this size. Yes?
Yes, Utkarsh, it's visible.
Okay, fine. So perfectly explained. Anyone else about machine learning? Okay, let's try to understand machine learning properly. And here we will also go into a few of the details, because see, everything, they have new techniques, they have new technology, new concepts, new models, but this is the crux. Like we can say everything is machine learning. Some see Gen AI and deep learning as different fields, but they all come under the same umbrella of machine learning. Let's talk about it. So the simplest way, and also the most accurate way to define machine learning, is that machine learning is about extracting patterns from data. That's it, nothing else. Machine learning is about extracting patterns from data. So any machine learning application you can think of having two parts. The first part is the training part, and then the next part is the part where you actually put it to use. Suppose we are talking about a use case of loan default classification. Basically, the task is you need to design such a system which will be able to detect that whether a person based on his details is likely to default or not. It will classify that person is going to be a defaulter or not a defaulter. If you want to do something like that, first you need to have already existing data about financial details of a lot of people and whether they defaulted or not. So you need to have past data. So you need to have both input and output. Input will be the financial details of people. Output will simply be the label that whether that person defaulted or not. So this data can be like a CSV or Excel type of data. The first phase is you use a suitable model, or let me call it algorithm. You use suitable algorithm which will be able to extract patterns from this data input and output. Basically, it will learn to match your input with an output, that what are the financial details which make a person default and which do not make a person default. Now, after you have trained this algorithm on already existing data, so data is the first requirement. You will have the pattern, or you often call it a model. You will have pattern or the model. Now you can use this model to make predictions on new cases. So now you have unknown data, new input for which the output is not known. For that, you can start making predictions. So that is what machine learning is: extracting patterns from data and then putting it to use. If I talk about one more example, let's say you want to create a system which will be able to differentiate between images, let's say cats and dogs, and let's say cows, lions, tigers, a lot of things, animals, an animal classifier. Basically, this tech is being used a lot in cameras. So if you want to build a system like that, first you need to have labeled data. You need to have a lot of images of those animals, and then you need to have their corresponding labels. Now you provide those images and those labels both as input to a suitable algorithm. And I think here you will use something like a CNN. Now that algorithm will extract patterns from data, and then that pattern can be used to make predictions for new cases. So that is what machine learning is: extracting patterns from data. I hope this much is clear. Now, I also like to talk about what exactly this pattern is, because this much is clear to everyone. Everyone understands that, okay, that's what machine learning is, that's what it does. But what exactly we mean by this pattern? What does this pattern look like? So let's talk a little bit about that. I will just share two examples. Suppose I have data about salaries, not salaries, let's say years of experience and salaries. Very simple example: years of experience and salary. If someone has 2 years of experience, then let's say the salary is 30,000. If someone has 3 years of experience, let's say the salary is 40,000. If someone has 4 years of experience, 50,000. 6 years of experience, and so on. So this is the data we have. Now, using this already available data, our goal is to understand the pattern and make predictions for new cases. Meaning, if I have a new person which comes with like a, let's say 11 years of experience, so I should be able to make a prediction about his or her salary. So we are to solve this problem. And solving this problem involves that we understand the pattern between years of experience and salary. Years of experience is the input here, salary is the output here. So can anyone try to create a pattern or try to represent this pattern in any way so that we can make our predictions? Let me give you a hint. In this case, you will need a pattern which is like a simple mathematical function. So you need to create a pattern like salary and then a function which matches your salary with your years of experience. Pattern can exist in many ways. It can be a mathematical equation. It can be like a tree, a decision tree, which is like a flow chart. It can be in the form of uh, taking the average or most common response from, let's say, k number of nearest observations. It can be in the form of a neural network. So there are a lot of ways to represent this pattern. But here we are just going to talk about two examples so that we at least understand what this pattern is. Shall I reveal this, the solution?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I write an equation like this, salary is equals to 20,000 plus 10,000 multiplied by years of experience. Now tell me, is it uh, representing the pattern between salary and years of experience? This simple equation or function, is it correctly representing the pattern? The way you check it is, let's say if years of experience is,
No, it doesn't.
oh, I
It
think
doesn't.
I made a mistake here.
Yes,
Yes.
it doesn't.
Yes. Now check. Is it representing the pattern between years of experience and salary correctly?
Yes, now it is.
Yes.
It is. So that's it. This is what a simplest pattern is. And this is actually a machine learning algorithm. We call this simple linear regression. So in this, all we need to do is just find the best values of. So you represent your problem like this. Output is equals to beta naught plus beta 1 multiplied by x, where x is your input, y cap is your output. And then you try to figure out best values for these two to find out the pattern. In our case, these two values are both 10,000. If whenever I have a new person, let's say with a salary of 11, sorry, with years of experience 11, then I can simply predict the salary using this 10,000 plus 10,000 multiplied by 11. So it will be around 120K. That will be the estimated salary for that new person. So that's what the pattern is. Everywhere you're trying to do the same thing, whether it's a simple regression model or a classification model, a simple machine learning problem or a deep learning problem, or even large language models. It's all about extracting patterns from data. Okay. One more example can be simply using the nearest values. So suppose I have the data set about loan default classification, and there I have two fields, let's say income, spend, and then whether that person defaulted or not. Income, spend, and default. Now, let's have some data: 60,000, 25,000, default. No. So let's say this is my data and so on. I have a lot of different observations, meaning a lot of more rows here. I have a new case having a salary of, let's say, 61,000 and having a spend of 26,000. Now I need to make a prediction about this new case, that whether this person will default or not. How can you do that given this data set that you have? Sorry. Any ideas? How about I use an approach that
I
from my
think
already
whenever
go ahead.
I I'm just guessing that if the spend is above 50% of the salary, then it will be a default. That could be one
Perfect.
of the things.
So you're thinking in terms of developing kind of a mathematical equation or formula which figures out how much proportion of the spend is compared to the overall income, and based on that you make a prediction, correct?
Correct, right.
Perfect. That kind of approach can also work. But what if I tell you there exists an even simpler approach, which is, how about from my complete data set, based on income and spend, I select three observations that are closest to my new case. In our case, those three closest observations will obviously be this one, this one, and this one, right? So I consider the three closest observations from already existing data set, and then I take their results, that whether they defaulted or not. Here I'm taking three. In actual cases, you may take 7, 8, 9. It depends. So these are the responses from the observations which are very close to this new one in terms of income and spend. Now I make my final prediction by taking the most common response. So in our case, all are no. So for our new case also, we finally predict a no. That is also a way to represent the pattern. One more way can be using a decision tree where you create a tree of decisions. Okay, income greater than this much. If it is greater than 60, go to this side. If it is less than 60, go to this side. And then you kind of say, okay, now after income is the spend less than 30,000. Okay, not default. Spend more than 30,000, default. And for greater than 60, if spend more than 40,000, default. Less than 40,000, not default. So that is also a way to represent the pattern. So here I'm trying to give all of you just an idea about what we mean by the pattern. The pattern can be represented by a simple mathematical function or a very complex mathematical function like a neural network, or classical machine learning approaches such as a decision tree or k nearest neighbors, all of these things. Okay, we are going to talk about all of these things in the course. Now, so this was about machine learning. Let us proceed. Let's not go into deep into types of machine learning given the time we have. What are the steps involved in solving a machine learning problem? Most of them are same as the data analytics. The most important part about solving a machine learning problem is you need to have good quality already existing data. Data controls everything. Okay, a lot of people believe that the model is the most important part. No, the data is the most important part. Your model is as good as your data. Nowadays you are able to use applications such as ChatGPT, Claude, which use LLMs. So these applications have also been possible because on the internet there's a lot of data available, although good or bad both, but that's up to the company how they train it. So a lot of data is available. All these LLMs have been trained on a lot of data, and then only they are able to perform your tasks. So first is data collection with respect to the problem. Then you clean and prepare that data. You select a suitable algorithm. You evaluate and train your model, and then you deploy that model and you put it to use. Now let me explain deep learning also very quickly, and then I will stop if we have any doubts. What is deep learning? So deep learning is also a subset of machine learning. The only difference is in machine learning, you use your classical algorithms, but in deep learning, we make use of neural networks. Now, what exactly are neural networks, how they work, how they are trained? Obviously, we are going to talk about that in our course. Uh, but just to give you an idea, neural networks are more powerful, but they are also more resource hungry. So there's often this question that, okay, if neural networks are more powerful and they can adapt more complicated patterns, why do we need to study simple machine learning models such as regression, linear regression, decision trees, naive bias, a lot of different algorithms? So the answer is very simple. See, not every task requires you to use a neural network. Consider your machine learning like a knife and consider your deep learning like a chainsaw. So if let's say if your task is cutting fruits and vegetables, then what will you use? You'll use a knife or a chainsaw? You will obviously use a knife.
Knife.
Chainsaw is obviously is a more powerful tool,
Extreme.
but obviously it's not suitable for cutting fruits. I mean, you can do it, no one is stopping you. You can take a chainsaw and cut your fruits and vegetables, but obviously it will either squish, and even if let's say making clean cuts, still it will require a lot of efforts from your end to operate that, and also it will require a lot of energy to be operated, and also it is very costly. So why would you use a chainsaw to cut fruits? Okay, now if your task is cutting trees, then obviously you will need a chainsaw. I mean, obviously you can take a knife and kind of a hammer or stone or something, and then you can keep on chipping for weeks and finally you'll be able to do it. But again, that's not the best tool. So here it makes sense for you to bear the cost of purchasing and the operating the chainsaw. So it all depends on the task. Nowadays, the reason I'm giving you this example is so it's also due to a lot of hype. Everybody is trying to use an LLM for every task. And experts will tell you that most of these tasks do not even require an LLM to be used. But then again, if you are suggesting an LLM based approach to a company, obviously you're going to make much more money. So no one suggests machine learning based approaches, but that's the state of market right now. Let's not go into that. But this clearly helps you understand that why it is important to identify what is suitable for your task. If your task is something simple, use a simple machine learning algorithm. A little bit complicated, use a deep learning based approach. And it's something even more tricky, then use heavy models. So that is how it is. So I think this gave you a basic idea about machine learning and deep learning. I'm going a bit fast because I want to quickly move on to the Ollama part, which all of you I think should be interested. But if you have any doubts till now, ask me about machine learning or deep learning.
I think we'll have more doubts as we go on, as we continue.
Okay. So no doubts, but let me rather ask this question. Now, do you have a better understanding about what is machine learning and what is deep learning?
Oh, yes. Yep.
Okay, great. Let's proceed. Now let's talk about generative AI and agentic AI. So what is generative AI? Before generative AI, our applications of machine learning and deep learning and neural networks and the models were limited to extracting patterns and then doing regression tasks, classification tasks, and very basic things. Generative AI means generating new content. It sounds simple, but it has opened up a lot of like a plethora of possibilities for us. Generative AI means now your AI models, instead of just learning to detect or let's say learning to predict, now they have learned to generate new things. It started with generating text. Your early stage models, large language models like BERT, Roberta, all of these, they were only able to generate text. But nowadays, you have models which are able to generate uh, images, audio, code, even videos. And nowadays, I think we have models who can even generate uh, audio and video both. I hope all of you are aware of the progress. So that's what generative AI is. It is about generating new content. Now, how is this possible? Again, the concept is same. It is about extracting patterns from data. These very large models that you see, we call them large language models. Uh, Earlier, the term large language models used to mean only models which can generate text language. But now you have multi-model systems as well. Multi-model meaning like a model which is able to, now here multi-model, the model is MODAL, multi-model systems. So these are able to generate not just text, also the same model is able to generate the video as well, audio as well, and images as well. So nowadays we are there. So how is this all possible? It is possible because they have extracted the patterns. They have been trained on a lot of data that is available since like last few decades, or from last at least 2 decades. All these apps and everything on the internet, everything has been collecting your data. And because of that data only, it is possible to train and deploy such large scale models which are able to generate new things. So if I am to explain how exactly a large language model generates text, so the answer is simple. It has learned from a lot of text, and when I say a lot, it means almost everything that is available there. It has learned from a lot of text. It has learned the pattern in that text, and using that pattern it is able to generate new text. How exactly generative adversarial network able to generate images? So it has learned from a lot of images, and because of that it is able to generate new images based on the prompt that you provide. And I hope the applications you're already aware, you have been using ChatGPT and Cloud. There are a lot of applications possible. So this is about generative AI. Now, what is agentic AI? Generative AI is about generating new things, whether it is text, image, or code, anything. Agentic AI is about performing tasks, that now you have created something that not only generates something, but it rather performs tasks for you. So an AI agent is defined as something that can perform tasks without human intervention. It can do things for you. So that's what an AI agent is, and that is where industry is right now. Not only AI agents, nowadays we are having multi-agent systems as well. Okay, let me give you an example of a recent project I created for Tata Power. So it used to take them almost like sometimes even 3 months, 4 months to onboard new vendors, because they were required to do a lot of research, they were required to do a lot of analysis. They used to check everything online, whether there is something wrong about them on the internet, all the documents are fine. A long process. But you can create an AI agent or a multi-agent system for that. You can create an agent that takes all the details about that company. You can create an agent that validates all the documents, the MCC, a lot of requirements are there. uh, then you can create a agent which finds negative news about that particular vendor wherever it is available on the complete internet. Then you can create an AI agent which analyzes reviews of their clients on the internet. Then you can create an AI agent which can summarize your final decision. So that is how you can create like 6 7 agents for this vendor onboarding process, and you can now use that, and I think it can do your task in a day or two, and you can decide whether to onboard that. And a lot more applications are possible when we are talking about AI agents, and that is what we are going to learn in this course. We are going to learn simple applications such as, let's say, simple chatbots, Then we are going to move into RAG based chatbots. Then we are going to learn how to create AI agents. And then we are also going to talk about how to create and orchestrate multi agent systems. Now, now we will talk about the tool Ollama. I will help you set up Ollama on your system so that you can run small LLMs locally. A lot of the tasks that you must be using ChatGPT or the cloud or even their paid versions, they can be done on your local system. Okay. A common problem being faced by everyone is that for simple text generation tasks and everything, people are utilizing these models. And then obviously they run out of tokens. So if you know this, if you set up this in your system, then for simple tasks, you can use this. And for more complicated tasks, you can save your tokens and use the paid versions of Cloud and ChatGPT. But before we proceed, any doubts related to Gen AI or Agentic AI, whatever we have discussed?
Not as of now.
None?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk about Ollama. So what is this Ollama? You can say, go ahead. Was there a doubt?
No.
Okay, I think someone spoke. So Ollama is basically an interface, or you can just call it an application. Earlier, it used to be a simple command line client. Now there is an app as well. So let's just say it is an app which allows you to download and use large language models locally. Okay. Now I have it already installed and I cannot uninstall and show you the installation process on my system because a lot of dependencies are there. What I would like is for one of you to share your screen and then I can demonstrate how to set this up. Okay, first let me ask how many of you are using Windows? You can just say yes in the chat so that I can keep track. Those who are using a Windows based system, please say yes in the chat. Only one? Okay. How many of you are using Mac? So except Amol, everyone is using Mac, I assume. Okay, fine then. So for Windows and also for Mac, it is very easy. I will ask you to share your screen just in case you face any problems. So simply search for Ollama. There you will find the page. Uh, Most of you may see a download Ollama option as well. So if you see that option, just click on that. And if that option is not there, then you will find it here, download. So when you click on download Ollama, you will see all the options for Mac, for Linux, and for Windows. For Windows, I think it is easier to download the executable file. It should be more than a gigabyte, so it may take you 2-3 minutes. So download that file. It will be an exe file and then execute it just like you do with every other app. Then if you are using Mac, then I think it will be just easier for you. You copy paste this command and execute this in your terminal. That's it. So that should install the Ollama for you in Mac and then for Windows as well. All of you do this. It should take like 2-3 minutes and update me quickly. Then we will talk about the next steps. Have all of you started downloading?
Yeah.
Sorry, Utkarsh, I did not because I'm taking this call on phone. I'm not in front of my laptop.
Okay, no worries. But I
Yeah.
think it's easy. You can remember the steps and then
Yes,
later you can
yes,
do it.
yes, sure.
Okay, while you are downloading, let me show you. So almost, not almost, for sure, all the open source models are available on Ollama. Now, if I talk about the time 6 months ago, there were not many powerful models in small sizes. So it was not possible to do something useful by downloading LLMs locally in your machine. But nowadays, you have advanced models and they are also very small in size that you can actually run them on your system, right? So let's talk about this model. Here you see a list of all the models that are available. You have very large models also available and very small ones as well. Now, if you are still wondering what exactly is this model, all of these are LLMs and all the open source ones are available here. Okay. So this Gamma 4 is a model from Google and it is available in different sizes. You have a version which is uh, having 2 billion parameters, which has a size of 7.2 gigabytes. You have version which has 4 billion parameters, which has a size of 9.6 gigabytes. Then 26 billion, 31 billion, and many more. And then there are versions of this which have like 500 billion parameters as well. Now, for most of the tasks that people are using ChatGPT for, you can do them using this 4 billion model effectively. For this, you only need at least 16 gigabytes of RAM in your system. And if you have a GPU having 16 gigabytes of VRAM, that is even better. There it will be very fast. But if you do not have that, if you are just having a CPU and a basic GPU and 16 gigabytes of RAM, this will be more than sufficient. Even this is sufficient for those small tasks. I will show you how to download them. Then, if you want a model which is even more smaller, so you have something called Llama 3.2. So this one has versions in 1 billion parameter and 3 billion parameters. And the 3 billion model is just 2 gigabytes. So you can execute this even if you have 4 gigabytes worth of RAM. I mean, it will be very, very, very slow. I will recommend you have at least 8 gigabytes. And I think that everybody has nowadays. So you can execute this even if you have 8 gigabytes worth of RAM. So I'm just giving you a list of what are the best models to run locally on your system. Obviously, you cannot run like a 90 billion parameter. Let's take a look at this size. So this 90 billion parameter model is 55 gigabytes. So you need to have uh, either GPU VRAM worth 55 gigabytes or like have a Mac system or something to run this. And people are actually doing it nowadays. People are purchasing 120 gigabyte M4 Max systems, or let's say even 256 gigabyte M3 Ultra systems, Max systems, and running these LLMs locally and performing a lot of tasks without paying anything to OpenAI or Anthropic. So all of these things are actually happening. So coming back to which models you can actually use. So there is Gamma 3, which I will help you install. There is Llama 3.2. And then you also have Qwen series of models, Qwen 3.5. It also has 0.8 billion, 2 billion, 4 billion, 9 billion variants. You can use any of them. Obviously, you should use the 9 billion one. It is just 6.6 gigabytes. So you can
Utkarsh, I have
utilize
a
all of
question
them.
here.
Yes,
We have lots of models in the market right now, right?
right.
And how do we make sure that, like, I have used Llama 4, I have used GPT 5.4 and Pro version of that 5.4. Uh, every model has its own, plus points and negative points, right? So, while doing any kind of tasks, how do we make sure that, like the model that we are using, like for us who are newbies, like we don't know much about it. So how do we, make out that which model is going to be best for our kind of tasks? What tasks we perform that's best for us? How do we make that thing out?
Okay, good question. So the only way to figure that out is research, because every month new models are coming. It's like a race, right? There is something, Anthropic releases something better, and then OpenAI comes in that releases something better. Then Google comes in, and then these Chinese models, Alibaba, all of these release something. So the best way to figure out which model is good for your task is simply to do the research, that okay, for these and these, because people do this research and then they share their results. So you need to research, and using that you will get an idea, okay, what is the model. But if I am to give you a basic idea, like a
Mm-hmm.
basic rule of thumb, if you have anything related to coding,
Mm-hmm.
okay, code generation, creating multi-agent systems, or a lot of different things, architectures, software engineering, basically, not just coding.
Mm-hmm.
So there is nothing better than Opus series of models. I think the latest one is 4.7. So there is nothing better than that. But it is best, it is also costly. So if you want a cheaper version, you can go with the Alibaba models, which are like Qwen. uh, I don't remember the name of the latest one, but it is a Qwen series model, I think Qwen 4 or something. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you want something even more cheaper, then you can have the DeepSeek R1 coder. So that is specially designed for coding, that works very well.
One more thing
Anything related,
that yeah, you please complete the
yeah,
last after that.
just a few more things.
Yeah.
If you have any task related to just text generation,
Mm-hmm.
or let's say image generation, anything like that, then the
Mm-hmm.
GPT series of models are best.
Okay.
You have GPT 5.4, and I think it comes with the image 2 model. So image 2 is currently best for generating images. Earlier it used to be Nano Banana from Google. Now it is image 2. So you can use that. If you have anything to do with video generation, then currently there's C Dance 2. There's nothing better than that. But see, I'm sharing all of these. We don't know. Next month it will change.
Yeah,
Maybe
so it's
OpenAI.
kind of everyday task, right?
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know exactly what the model that I'm using today. I might get another better version of that tomorrow. So it's kind of
Exactly.
everyday task. So that makes one thing very error prone is like the work. Let's see. Let's take an example that if I'm doing my testing tasks, or let's say I'm designing one test plan for my any requirement that is coming from the customer. So I am not sure the thing which
Okay,
I'm getting
just
today
one
is
minute, Prabha. Sorry to interrupt you. We will have this discussion, but let me first help all of you download these models, at least one or two, because they are in like 4 gigabytes. It will take 3 to 5 minutes, and while we are waiting for them to be downloaded, in that time we can have this discussion.
Mhm.
Okay, so let me just share with all of you how you can download these models, and while we wait, we can continue with this discussion so that we can utilize the waiting time. Okay, so I will share with all of you a simple guide which has all the commands with respect to Ollama. Check, you may have received this in chat. So, if you want to check whether Ollama has successfully been installed in your system, all you need to do is just do Ollama list, like execute any command. This Ollama list will tell you all the available models that you have in your system, all the models that you have downloaded. So here I have downloaded these 5, 6 models. So it is showing me all of them. For you, it will show nothing, only this line will appear and it will have nothing below that. And this will also confirm that it is successfully installed. So all of you try this. And you can simply update via mic or chat if you see a result confirming you have successfully installed Ollama. simply type Ollama list. Let me type it in chat as well. Ollama list. Working? If not, anyways, you can try it later. Now, how do we load these models? So if you want to download any model, all you need to do is write Ollama pull and then the name of that model. So Ollama pull. Now, let's say you want to download this Qwen 3.5 4 billion version. Just copy this name, go to your terminal, and after Ollama.pull, just paste that name, click on enter, and it will download. For me, it will just say already available, but for you, it will start the downloading process. It is at least, I think, 3.5 gigabytes, so it will take a few minutes. Let me paste that command in chat, and then we can continue with the discussion. Then all of you start downloading this, and then you can try a lot of things with Ollama. I will show you. Yes, Prabha, please continue.
Yeah, that was Anuj actually. So I wanted to ask you that, let's say I am doing some kind of task. Am I audible, Utkarsh?
Yes, yes.
So let's say I'm doing any let me take an example. Like I am writing down a test plan for a new requirement that has come in from one of my customers. Okay. Now, if I'm using Llama 4 today, and I get whatever test plan has been, it creates one test plan for me, right? And tomorrow I'm using, let's say, Pro 5.4. It gives me a better version of what I had yesterday with Llama 4. So isn't that kind of, a lot of human intervention? Because when I'm getting a test plan, which was a better version of it, I'm getting now today using a better model. So I'm trying to review it again and again because I know that there is some kind of coverage missing out there. So that's where my point came in, that how to decide that which is the better version for your tasks, and more curious to know that how do we actually make them learn this thing, that whatever the requirement is coming in, what kind of test plan outcomes we are expecting. So that is little bit, that is the front end that I'm doing. I'm designing a prompt and putting up that prompt, and I'm getting the test plan. But from the backend side, I'm a little more curious to know that how does it actually comes to know that, you know this is the outcome that I'm expecting.
Okay. So basically, I think you have two questions. First, if you have a new model, let's say you are using Llama 4 and now you have something like GPT 5.5 or 5.4, how do you know if that is better than what you are already using? Correct?
Yes.
Okay, that is first. And the second one, you mean that in the backend there must be a lot of uh, human
Processing.
intervention in
Yeah.
changing the model or updating everything with respect to the new model that you have in the market, right?
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
how it becomes a better version than the earlier one. I mean, that is what my point was.
Okay. So let me share. So when I said you need to research, see, whenever a new model is released, every company releases benchmarks, and then there exist a lot of benchmarks. There will be a benchmark related to image generation. There will be a benchmark related to code generation. There will be a benchmark related to, let's say, text generation, and then different types of benchmarks are there for same purposes also. So whenever a new model is released, the company itself also publishes all the details, and then there are a lot of reviewers which cover these details, or they actually run these models on their systems or cloud to perform these tasks and release their results on, like, maybe LinkedIn or X or YouTube, everywhere. So the information is easily available. It's not a big deal to figure out, okay, if a new model that has been released is doing a better job at the task that I'm currently performing. Now, second, Is it a lot of hassle to change a new model? No, it's not. See, you have your whole product,
Mm. Yes.
and when you use a model, you basically have to use its API key,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
So
No, no, that
suppose
I know,
today,
Utkarsh, that how do we change the model and how we can proceed with that. My only point was that, as per my product, probably I'm sounding stupid because I have just
no,
used
no, no, no,
the front end where I just paste my prompt and it gives me the result which I want. So is that I try, I mean the prompt that I make is the key thing to develop my test plan, or there is something also going on the back end which you know someone must have learned or some I mean models must there will be have models which have been which have got learned these all things or something like that. That is what my question was.
okay. So let me give you a basic idea. So in the backend, you obviously have all your logic, and in the
Mhm.
backend, you're also using the API key. Let's say you have a backend and you have a front end. Okay, here all
Yes.
your logic is there, and somewhere in that program, you're utilizing some API key with respect to the model that you are using, that model you have paid for or subscribed for. So front end, let's say you give a prompt. Now that
Mhm.
prompt goes to the backend, then that prompt is fed to that API key. API
Mhm.
key basically for that model operating in cloud. Let's say you're using an API key for an OpenAI based model.
Okay.
So after you have provided the prompt, and let's say some more things happen in the background depending upon the task, now that prompt will be fed to your and let's say the
Model.
system is as simple as you give a prompt and then you get your results. So you feed that to this, then that prompt is fed to the API key, then that prompt goes to the model. Let's say if you're using a RAG based system, so not just the prompt,
Mhm.
a lot of
Mhm.
other details with respect to that model are sent to the cloud. And let's say the model you're using is GPT 5.4, which exists in
Mhm.
OpenAI cloud. So all the details will go to this model. This model will take them as input and it will provide them as output using this API key. And then let's say you have some output parsers which you can use. Okay, you want the result in a specific format. So the output goes through them and then that output is returned to your front end and
Okay.
it is showed to you. So that is how it happens.
Okay.
Is it what you were asking?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So in the backend, it's not like you are storing the model yourself or that model has already learned something. Nothing like
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
When you are using an API key, the task of feeding the input and then all the processing, heavy processing by the model to the point of producing the output, that happens on a different cloud platform.
Okay.
You just need to use the API key.
And the prompt that we create is just the way we want to give the maximum information so that we get the maximum output, right?
Correct. The prompt is basically uh, what you want the model to do. That's what a
Yes.
prompt
Yes.
is.
Yes. Yes. So it could be a very simplest prompt also, providing just the requirement link and the feature description pages, and it could be a descriptive prompt also where a user can give in detail that what kind of test cases we want, what should be included in test plan, what should not be included in test plan. So that type of thing, right?
Correct.
Everything depends on the kind of prompt that we make.
Exactly. And then using tools like LangChain and let's say input output parsers, you can also provide a JSON schema or Pydantic. You can use
Hmm.
Pydantic models using which you can specify in what format exactly you are looking uh,
Correct.
for what to having your output generated. Okay.
Understood.
Now let's
Thank you.
talk about Ollama. I hope all of you have installed this in your system. So there must be an app available by the name of Ollama. Earlier, it used to be just a command line client. Now they have this app as well. So all of you have downloaded this model called Qwen 3.5 4B. So just open Ollama and select that model. Here it is. And now type any message. Let's say, So explain agentic AI like I am a 15-year-old. Okay, so this model is a reasoning model. So first it will think for a bit and then it will generate your response. I think while this is generating, we should install one more model which gives us output very quickly so that we don't have to wait. And that model is Llama 3.2. So just type Ollama pull Llama 3.2. Let me check if it has any billion mention as well. Llama 3.2 3B. Done. So I already have it. For you, it will download. I think it's 2 gigabytes. It should take no more than 2 to 3 minutes. So this is a reasoning model. It generates the response and then evaluates it, corrects it, and then generates and then evaluates. And okay, finally we have the output. Imagine you have a really smart friend who doesn't just listen to you, but actually does things for you. That's agentic AI. So that's what I meant when I said uh, that, okay, agentic AI is something that not just generates, but performs tasks for you. And you can read that it's a very good response. I can already see it. I'll just show you one more example. Generating these simple messages and everything, they are fine. These models, Gamma, Llama 3.2, they are more than capable of doing them. But you can even write code to a huge extent. So we have a small size model called Qwen 2.5 coder, which has been specifically designed for coding. And there's a version of it. This one is obviously very large. What we need is 2.5 coder. See, there's this Qwen 3 coder, and there's a version of it available in 480 billion parameters, 290 gigabytes. So if you have a system with at least like 480 gigabytes of RAM, you can easily run this and you never need to pay anything to cloud for using cloud code. But obviously we don't have a powerful machine. So we are rather going to use Qwen 2.5 coder. Very capable model. It has a lot of versions, 7B, 3B, 1.5B, 14B. You can use 14B also, but I'm going to show you the 7B and you will realize how capable this is. Just a demo. So here it finishes. Now let me use Qwen Coder 7B and let me give it a simple task. Let's say create a budget tracking website using Flask as backend and let's say SQLite as database. The UI must be clean and professional. Assume all the details yourself. Done. So this is a very vague prompt. By providing a proper prompt, you can get much better results. So this is the last example I'm sharing. I think we have already exceeded the time, but just a few more minutes. Let's see what it gives us. Okay, I forgot to mention that give me the file separately, but let's see if it is able to figure that out itself. First, it has shared the guidelines that you need to create a virtual environment. You need to activate that virtual environment, and then you need to install all of these dependencies. Fine. Then it shares, okay, I thought it will just give me HTML file because I was also not aware of its capability. Then it also shares with you what kind of directory structure you need to have. Okay. It sets up the database. Currently, it is writing the Flask backend. And all of this is happening in your own system with just, let's see how much memory it is utilizing. Okay, it's almost utilizing everything that I have. But still, it is great. I just have 16 GB on this particular Mac system. I have workstation as well. So this is very good. It is still fast enough. It's not like you have to wait for uh, 30 minutes for this to complete. It has completed the backend code. Now it is creating the front end form. Defining the structure of forms. It is creating a separate file for HTML. So this is great. And it is just, see how interesting it is. It is just a 7 billion parameter model, less than 5 gigabytes in size and running on your local system. And it is faster than ChatGPT and Cloud, I guess. I did not expect this much. I thought it will just give me 2 files, an HTML file and a Python file, but this is great. And a separate file for CSS and JS. So here's the capability. All of you can see. This was not possible, I think, last year because there were not many small models which were this much capable, but nowadays they are really, really good. So here is your complete website created in just 2 to 3 minutes. All you need to do is create this directory structure on your system, create these files, and then it is providing all the instructions. Just copy and paste these codes to these files. And if you are using something like Cloud Code or Continue.dev or any AI assistant IDE, you can combine that with this Qwen 2.5 coder, and that will actually do all of this for you. It will create these directory structures, it will create a virtual environment, and it will write into these files, and you can have your website up and running without doing anything at all. So that is where we are today. And then in the course, we are going to explore more of these models, and we are going to create a lot of workflows that can help you in your day-to-day tasks without even requiring internet. Okay, this was just a quick demonstration of the capability. Now, if you have any doubts or anything that you would like to share about this session, go ahead. And I think Rajiv will
So,
also need some time.
Utkarsh, I have one query.
Yes.
Like it could be more as a compliance, right? So sometimes you have your client data, right, which you can't share. So there are some approved models or LLMs given to us, right?
Yes.
Then how the security thing, I mean, for all these models, or even if like our website is up and running, but is it like how we host it to that level, it can make you I mean, anyone can use it?
No, that is a different question. When you talk about the security of your website, that usually refers to where you are hosting it and then what you have
Correct.
after that. Here we
Yeah.
are only talking about creating a website.
Like, okay, how you
Security
can
is
create
associated
how?
with hosting.
Okay, got it. So basically, you are saying like Anthropic, Claude, and these models are very expensive, but there are other models with which we can still do our work, right? Create our applications, mobile applications or websites or whatever.
Yes.
Correct? Okay, cool.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
also the question that you asked about security,
Hmm. Yeah.
it can be a much longer discussion, but to just to give you an idea, anything that exists on cloud is not
Yes.
secure.
Mm.
No matter how many guardrails you set up,
Correct.
if you are
Yeah.
using a cloud hosted model using an API key, nothing is secure. And that is why there's a huge push from companies towards creating their local AI systems. Like they are paying a lot of money to a lot of companies to set up. Like if I talk about a company like EY, it's not uh,
Hmm.
very feasible for them or risk free for them to use the cloud based models. In a lot of companies, you will be surprised to know the use of ChatGPT and
Hmm.
or Claude is banned because they do not want the employees to, let's say, upload their Excel sheets and then do the things through
Right.
them because
Right.
sensitive data is. So now they are having a push to have their own systems. Okay,
Correct.
like
Hmm.
something that is hosted on their own servers for the companies that are capable of that, or something that they can do on their own and by creating their own systems.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
is also why it makes important for us to understand how to use these models locally.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Utkarsh.
Okay. Rajiv, anything from your end?
That's it. As it's already more than 9:30, we'll wind up the call and I will connect with them personally to discuss further regarding the program and their doubts.
Great, great. Okay. Thanks to all of you. I hope this session was useful, and we'll be doing all of these things and creating many more projects and workflows in your course itself. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Utkarsh. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks, everyone.